Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. So it's coming to my attention that YouTube will erase views, likes, dislikes, and comments because they have programmed the algorithm to ignore bots. So you have to do everything after you've watched the video for 60 seconds. So at the 61 second mark, you can leave a comment all you want. What is going on? So I have a degree, I have a pre-law degree. And the pre-law degree, they didn't know what to really do because they didn't actually have a law school and they didn't actually have law courses. So instead what they did was package 5 different majors under pre-law under the context of what does a lawyer know, or how would a lawyer act, and what would a lawyer draw from. So I have a political science degree, a psychology degree. History kind of goes along with political science anyway. Philosophy, logic, and business. And as on my minor, I have STEM, and I tried to use music too. But fun fact: I went and auditioned for the Grambling State University Tiger Marching Band. Walked on, got a scholarship, and everything. When they found that I was not a music major, they kicked me out of the band and took my scholarship. Yes, I look like a demon right now laughing. Anyway, I was in the band for 2-3 years, something like that. So I was in the Tiger Marching Band, and I got to meet Holyfield and a whole bunch of other stars and stuff because I was in the band. Not just that I was in the band, but I didn't make the field because you have to audition for so the band will have like 500 people in the band, but there's only something like 100 spots on the field. And so the one time I did not make it to the field, they called me anyway to play in the sideline band, which was the more people with more talent. So literally, they came to me and said, would you play keyboards for us? I said, I didn't have to audition. No, you don't have to audition. We already know you're a master. Anyway, I've been playing piano and other instruments since I was like 7 years old. Anyway. So I just said, that's the area of expertise that I'm drawing from when I talk. Psychology, political science, history, logic and business, and STEM. So this also means that I have been paying attention. I come from a political family. This also means that I've been paying attention to politics all of my life. When I say what is going on, I'm comparing 2023 to the entire history of the United States. It has never been this bad. I don't think you all understand. If you have food on your table, a roof over your head, you are doing good. I look at stats. I also went to grad school and eventually law school. I do not have the money to finish law school. I just didn't really, if I put my mind to it, I could get my law degree. I would come up with $100,000 somewhere. And I can't get a loan because I've been out for so long, so they're going to give me a loan. I would have to pay for $100,000. That's just to go to the school. I would have to come up with another, $50,000-$60,000 just to live. Because when you're at school, everything's like 10 times as expensive. When I say what is going on, I'm comparing it to all of my life and all of the knowledge that I have of political history in the United States. 60% of the people are food insecure. That means they do not eat at every meal. And they are not sure about the next time that they will eat. We're not talking about the homeless. We're talking about 60% of the Americans. So when you hear the news say that they are giving illegal immigrants stipends and they're putting them up in hotels and all, I want you to be twice as angry because 60% of Americans are food insecure. I'm talking about adults. What are the children doing? This means we have starving American children. You should really pass this video along to your congressman or your mayor even. I mean, 60% of Americans are food insecure. That means that the children of those people are starving because you have to feed yourself first before feeding your children. I know there's people say, feed your children look at. No, you have to be alive to be able to feed your children, right? What does the airplane say? Put the oxygen over your face first, then take care of your child. Because we don't want you passing out trying to put the oxygen over the child. You have no idea how quickly you can go. So 60% of Americans are food insecure. That means their children are starving. We do not have the logistics to freely feed 60% of Americans. Let me say this. The key word in that sentence is free. People do donate. America is the most giving country on the face of the planet. But the government has subverted charity and charitable donations at every opportunity to such a degree that we do not have enough soup kitchens to give out soup freely, to clothe those that need clothing, to shelter those that need shelter. The government has stepped in and stopped all of that stuff, and it goes all the way back to the 20s. It goes back to the beginning of the Great Depression. Welfare destroyed a lot of charities. Food stamps destroyed a lot of charities. Unintended consequences? I want to make you a little bit more paranoid and tell you that it was intentional. And they literally came in to certain soup kitchens and said, you all need to shut down. Why do we need to shut down? Because we are giving food stamps. We do not need you anymore. Well, you didn't create us, so you can't tell us to shut down. You need to shut down. Intentional. We have now Social Security. Shut down all of your old folks' homes. These were homes that were created for retired firemen, retired policemen, retired butchers, There was a home for everybody. And the government came in and said, you need to shut this down. We don't need this anymore. Of course, that's a lie. Of course we needed it. They didn't want it because they felt that was competition for the government. So people would not be inclined to pay taxes. Okay, now that I've given you a little bit of history, a little bit of financial history, you may or may not know it. What is going on now? This has never happened. And the news, of course, is not telling you. They continue to say Bidenomics works. The economy is so great. There are more jobs than people. The thing is, that's not true. There are not more jobs than people. The jobs have left the country. This is a time for all of you people who your job was outsourced overseas. This is a time for you to speak up. There are not more jobs than people in the United States. The jobs are overseas, and they are continually exporting jobs by the millions. And Mexico is one of the chief places that the jobs go. Everybody wants to feel so great about Mexico. Mexico is eating your lunch. Literally eating your lunch. Why are Mexicans coming in here? Because the jobs that are going to Mexico are worked by the people who are in the middle and upper class. The divide in Mexico is vast. The difference between a poor person in Mexico and a middle class person in Mexico is tremendous. In the United States, a poor person really isn't that poor. In the United States, you can eat lunch with a poor person every day. A quote unquote poor person. You could meet for lunch with a poor person in the United States and probably never know it. And the poor person would never think to even say anything. Probably the poor person just thinks they have it rough, but they probably reason that everybody has it rough. But they don't have. I lived all over the world. The poor people in the United States are not poor by any stretch of the imagination. They are rich if they lived anywhere else. Almost. If they had the same resources that they have here, but they lived in another country, they'd be rich. That's how rich this country. That is up until Joe Biden got. Now something has really changed. Now poor people are actually poor, and the middle class is slipping. They said something like 60 million people slipped into homelessness when Biden took office. Divorce skyrocketed during the pandemic. Why? Because we're not training women to be women. We're training women to be men. What do you mean? We're training women to work like a man, think like a man, have ambitions like a man. Modern city women think like men. There's no argument. It's all factual. There is no modern city woman that thinks in a feminine manner. Period. So there's no argument when I say divorce skyrocketed during the pandemic. Why? Because city women think like men. When the time got rough, the women left like a man. What is happening? We're not just losing our country. And I don't know if you know this, but and I don't know what country that you're in while listening to me, but the United States actually was the glue that kept everybody together. So when the United States toppled, the little topplings that it did do, it had major impacts all across across the globe. The very round globe. You know, globes are round. Let me also say this. So I have all these degrees. If China has financial problems, if India has financial problems, if Japan has financial problems, if France has financial problems, if Great Britain has financial problems, it does not affect the United States. If any of those countries have a problem and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's a global economic downturn. I'm here to tell you, Shakaama told you, point blank, they're intentionally sinking the economy in the United States for that narrative. I want you to be a bit more paranoid than you already are. All of this is intentional. All of this. Joe Biden literally spoke to the oil union workers and said, I never said I was going to cut your oil. I never said that. And I'm not going to do that. I make this promise to you. The very first day in office, he cut the pipeline. Go check it. I don't forget. Go check it. It's intentional. You need to be a little bit more paranoid than you already are. We do not need to be sending billions of dollars to Ukraine at all. At all. At all. It's not our fight. It has nothing to do with us. And Ukraine is not the good guys. Ooh. Did you see Canada? Ooh. Have you been up on that one? What happened? That they saluted a Nazi in their parliament? Ooh. From Ukraine? Ooh. You need to be a little bit more paranoid than you already are. We're not siding with the good guy. America is supposed to be the good guy. Our military is supposed to be used for the good guys. Our military equipment is supposed to be used for the good guys. They're not the good guys. What is going on? Gas is about to spike. Oh, it's already high. I know that. It's about to spike. Russia, Saudi Arabia, actually the entire Middle East, has said demand is down globally. We don't need to produce as much. Demand is down. We lower our production, which means the price of gas goes up, right? Because there's less gas out there, less oil out there, less oil to be refined. So the price goes up and it keeps increasing until demand goes up. It's about to spike. They've decreased production. What is going on? I'm sorry. We're an oil-based economy. I don't care what Joe Biden says. I don't care what the green people say. I don't care what. We're an oil-based economy. That means that the clothes that you wear were transported on a truck, which was transported on a ship somewhere, which was made in a factory that transported the clothes to the ship. And the ship came over here, landed in a port, and got onto a truck that then transported to a center. And then that center loaded the clothes onto another truck that transported it to a minor center, or not a minor center, but a minor warehouse. And then that warehouse put it on various trucks that all went out to stores. And then you bought the clothes off the store. So that little scenario is the same thing for your toothpaste, your eyeglasses, your toilet paper, your whatever, right? Because nothing is made in America. Oh. Didn't I just say jobs were shipped overseas? We're an oil-based economy. Everything is based on the oil. And if the price of oil goes up, everything that is shipped, that also goes up, including food. You're eating food from China. Food? We grow all sorts of food. No. Most of the stuff that is produced in fields in the United States are cash crops that are then sold or converted into other items, products, and that's what we produce. We barely produce food in the United States. Barely. If we did, we wouldn't be transporting avocados from Mexico, stuff from Canada, and stuff from China. Food. We're getting food from China. And that's all oil-based transportation. You can't transport it in an electric vehicle. We don't have the capability. And we're not going to have the capability for another 1,000 years. So all of this stuff they talk about, that's wishful thinking. At best, they're talking about consumer cars. And that's not going to happen. Because we don't have the electrical grid for it. And we don't want the electrical grid for it because that would mean an investment of 10 times, or even, I think it was, the number was actually 100 times of what it is today. How much would electricity cost if they had to build 100 times more factory, power plant than we have today? Everywhere, all over the United States. How much would it, take a guess for me? Or somebody with some expertise care to guess? Because the stuff that I've seen, I'm talking about what I've seen in Congress, and the congressmen have reports sitting in front of them. This is what they've said. And the witnesses too. 100 times more. We would have to have that much more power. We don't have the power right now. We don't have the power now. California doesn't have the power to charge its electrical. They literally have to say, okay, when everybody cuts off the air conditioner, when everybody cuts off their TV, then you can charge your electric vehicle, and I think it's for only 2 hours. What is going on? And I don't think you understand the dating of the young people. And we're talking about 16 to 30. They've come out with new wage stats, income. 30-year-old woman now makes 110% of what a 30-year-old man. 110%. I don't think you understand that stat, how bad that is. Women choose lower paying jobs. For women under 30 to out earn men to the tune of 110%, it means that the men don't work that much at all. That's what that means. They're not hiring men. I mean at all. They are hiring women, but women are doing women jobs. There are no women city maintenance people. There's no women sewer workers. There's no women skyscraper builders. Women are doing what women have been doing for the past 50 years, those jobs. And they're out earning the under 30-year-old crowd. Also, there's 15% of women are virgin, and they're 30 years old. If you're keeping track of society, that's a number that you keep track of to see if we're going to have enough children produced to keep society going. And we're not. And I believe that's intentional. And you might say, well, that's because of the other people who are consider themselves non-binary. No, that's not those people at all. We're talking about regular straight women. The amount of non-binary, all those, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. It's like 0.0001%. It's nobody. Why will jumping up and down, and bending over backwards for us? I have no idea, but it's not for me to say. They don't make up not even 1% of the population. Not even 1%. So that's not, the stat doesn't come from them. It comes from regular straight women, regular straight men. These are the people that you look to see if society is going to continue. And as it stands right now, it's not going to continue. You're going to have Trump supporters have children. So all you Trump supporters who are listening to me, you can be cheering, because I believe the United States will be something like 90% Trump supporters for the next 1,000 years until, somebody else shows up that's a popular candidate. It's funny, the people who are woke, they are eliminating themselves, and I don't mean like they're taking themselves out. I mean they are not doing the appropriate societal stuff like dating, marrying, having children. What's going on? Thank you.